Okay.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing?
Good.
Morning, everybody.
All right. I am back in the office. I'm COVID free and I feel much better. So stay safe out there. Any who wants to tell me about their experiences with Bold 100? So by the way, obviously not every experience, every day, every minute is gonna, every call is gonna work out perfectly. So we're all a big group trying to help each other here. So if there is something that that happened that you'd like some feedback on or would like a tip on how to handle better, please let's talk about that. And let's start with who wants to share any positive news or funny conversations or cool opportunities that they earned yesterday.
Had an old colleague of mine, teacher friend of mine, just text me out of the blue and saying another teacher's sister's moving into town and they want to use me.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So a couple things on that. How did you reward the referral source?
I am going to get her a thank you card, and I know she loves Starbucks, so I'm going to stick a little $5 Starbucks card in there.
Okay. So you have handwritten notes. Do you have the stationery and everything?
Yeah, I have the cards. I just have to handwrite it.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think I mentioned this a bunch in here, but I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat. There's a site that I used to get, or I guess still do, get my cards from called Note Card Cafe. There's a bunch of cool types of cards on there. There's thank you cards, there's holiday cards, there are real estate kind of themed cards, there's like July 4th cards and all that kind of thing. And they're pretty inexpensive. I think there are 72 of them with envelopes for like $17 or $18. Real good price. And I tell you, for many years, I went to the Dollar Tree and got those flimsy little cards with the flimsy little envelopes. And I found these were not a whole lot more expensive, but a lot better quality. So remember, everything you put your name on is a testament to what the brand that you're trying to create. Okay. Awesome. Great job, Liz. So both people are now in your database, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Who else wants to share?
Hey, Bill, I'll share.
Good morning, Markia. All right, go ahead.
Good morning. So I had my appointment with Sam, and I'm running an ad for 7 days in the Alpharetta area for my listing that I have. So I'm excited to see the results that I get from the ad.
Great, good stuff. So I'm actually working with Sam a little bit too. I've kind of teased you guys a little bit with this over the last few weeks, and I understand that, but we are working, and as we develop more and more details, I'll be obviously more than happy to share this with you. But we are developing a program. The intention right now is to have it in place by the end of the year. And myself and Robert and Andy and Aubrey and Sam have been basically put together our performa, basically all the math behind it to make sure that it makes sense from a financial standpoint. And right now we're in basically like week one and a half or so of testing our hypothesis. And so what we're doing is we're creating ads in Command as well. And then we're getting leads, right? And we are doing more or less, I'm doing all the stuff on the front end and Sam's doing all the tech stuff to incubate these leads and court these leads so that we can share not just the lead with you, but a true appointment with you. Once the appointment is in place, the call would be something like this. Hey, John, you want to meet so-and-so at this house to show these 2 properties in Roswell at 3 o'clock? Not here's some crappy internet lead that you'll be able to convert at 1% if you're lucky. So we're taking care of all the stuff on the front end, and then we would hand you the appointment. Now there would be a fee for it, of course, because there's a lot of time and energy that goes into creating this stuff. But our goal is for it to be far more affordable than what you would get if you were to pay, a relocation company or something like that for a piece of business. Okay. It would only be the only people that would be eligible are people within the productivity coaching program. And of course, you could opt in. If you didn't like the offering, you don't have to take advantage of it. Okay. But you would be the only people eligible for it. So we are testing that too. And we've been getting, at least for the last like 3 days, we've been getting about 6 to 7 leads a day on a pretty inexpensive budget. We're just kind of playing around with the numbers. So the potential is absolutely there. Absolutely there. Great job, Markia. Who else?
Well, it wasn't Bold 100 related, but I do have my first client. I did my buyer presentation yesterday.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
A gentleman signed the agreement right there, and he has a house to sell as well. We're going to get him on knock. Hopefully, we're going to start that process.
Beautiful, John.
See how it goes.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Congratulations, man. The first one feels awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It does. It proves to me, yeah, I can do this.
No, everyone, I'm looking around. Just want to double check. Everyone in this room can do it. Okay, 100% of you. Okay, you can do it. We're giving you the tools. You got all the support that you request, right? We got plenty of leaders in every direction you look that are more than happy to help. Great job. Great job. Just one point on that is don't get too caught up in like, getting them to sign something electronically. Like bring the paperwork to the meeting.
I did. And I closed the meeting with that. I thought it was a very strong meeting, and then I just closed it with that. And
right, because when you have a strong
it
meeting,
was fine.
And they feel comfortable that you're going to get the job done, and you feel comfortable that they are within the range of crazy that you're willing to tolerate, then getting the signatures signed on the paperwork is just a normal next step.
It seemed that way. It really did. It really did at the end. Yeah. I think he was very happy with the presentation. And then I basically said, hey, when can we go to work? You sign that.
Yeah.
Let me start going to work for you.
You ready to get started?
I could sign it, and yeah. So it's cool.
Beautiful. Okay. Let's do one or two more. Any questions? And did anyone encounter anything kind of unusual during Bold 100 they want to chat about? Anything they want some answers or some feedback on?
I'll share what I did.
Yeah, please.
I was sick yesterday, and I knew if I tried to make 100 phone calls or more than that, actually, so that I could talk to 100 people, I wouldn't make it through the day. So I did a lot of social media stuff, and then I did a bulk text message through Command and sent out 200 text messages. And from that, I got 2 appointments, one today, one tomorrow, and then a lot of just text messages back. And so the one thing I did was, even if they said it already sold, or I have an agent, we're under contract, I texted them back and I was like, congratulations on your sale, or congratulations on whatever. And then keep me in mind. And I had a few people that are like, thank you, I will. So I thought it was kind of cool that they texted back, even if they were not wanting to use me at the moment.
Exactly. And you could, by the way, if they sold it, generally you're talking about for sale by owners, right?
Yeah.
So if they sold it, there's really two. You did a great job, but if possible, I might ask at 1 or 2 additional questions. If they're proving that they're interested in a dialogue, then I might ask them the question, how was your experience? Right?
Okay.
Because
How was your experience?
if you ask them how the experience was, they're going to say, oh, it was wonderful, my realtor was awesome. At which point, that there's probably not a whole lot of future there for you. Right? Or it's probably not necessary to push anymore. But if they say, I finally sold it myself with the help of an attorney, then that's proof that they need a real estate agent relationship in the future. Or if they say, I hired a realtor and yeah, she got the job done, but it wasn't that great of an experience. And that's another opening for you to say, well, next time you have a question, I'd like to be the one you call. Right? So keep me in mind is there's probably a bit of a stronger way to determine what the likelihood of that relationship is and what you could do to prove your value in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because many times, by the way, the experience is lousy, right? And that opens the door for you to be the one providing the experience next time.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense because yeah. Well, I have another question about that. Is like, so the ones I'm gonna give it like 2 or 3 days, and the ones that I hear nothing from, I'm just gonna delete out of command like I do when I email. But the ones that responded that I had a dialogue with, should I put them, or I guess leave them in the database, or should I take them back out and put them on like my Excel spreadsheet?
So these are people that sold their home yet continue the dialogue, yes?
Yes. Yes.
I might say something to the effect of, you know, we've got some great technology that might be useful for you in the future. Would you like me to stay in touch with you periodically? Or, you know, is there anything, and now that you've moved, you know, obviously I have a lot of home related vendor relationships. Do you by chance need a name or a number for anyone right now? Like, see if there's anything that you can offer to them right up front so that the relationship becomes a little tighter. What Heather's referring to is this kind of like it's kind of like a, how do I want to say this? It's almost like a pre-database. So we've got a list of FISBOs that she's flirting with, and as soon as they show interest in making a relationship, then she puts them in the database. But rather than, you know, clog the database with a bunch of people that we're not even really sure what they are yet, we're putting it on an Excel spreadsheet. For your specific question, Heather, I think I'd leave them in the database.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You know, I would say not a lot of times would I delete somebody from a database. Like when they marry a realtor, or when they maybe even not even when they become a realtor. If they become a realtor at Keller Williams, I'll delete them. If they become a realtor, I'll keep them in there. And if they die, I'll take them out once I see the obituary. But otherwise, they're staying in there.
Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Who else? I know we got a lot of training coming at you. I've been trying to catch up on Bold as well. Anyone want to share anything that they've learned from Bold recently? Did anyone hear the woman from Oregon that came on and talked about her welcome home book? Was that cool?
Did not hear about that.
So this
I'm
is
not
a
doing
woman. She moved to town. She was from New York, I believe. Moved to Portland, Oregon. No database. She's about to sell her 70th house in 3 years in the market. She has basically created a kind of a almost like a sub brand called Welcome Home, which includes a Facebook group, and it's basically a home binder that she puts together with the help of her closing attorney. And it has some information about, you know, how to put on your utilities and, you know, these kind of things. It also has a bunch of not return mailing things, but what do you call it? In the upper left corner, like your mailing address labels, right? With a picture of their house, their new house, and their new address. They just got a bunch of those printed off, stuck in the envelope or stuck in the binder. And then the whole binder is full of local, typically woman-owned businesses that are everything from massage therapists to CPAs to attorneys to landscapers to food and beverage type restaurant coupons, that kind of stuff. And they just give it to the clients at the closing. Welcome home. So there is, as we all know, there are literally millions of different things that you can do. What I don't want you to do is spend 2 days starting all of them. What I want you to do is, you know, listen and kind of decide if that's something that fits your personality, right? If you want to go be a kind of a business to business connector, I think that could be a great addition to your offering package. If that doesn't sound of interest to you at all, don't do it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I want to, we did a little poll a couple of days ago where we all decided that we were going to support our session today from 11 to 12 with Paul Tully, who has, super young guy, super high energy, just a fantastic wealth of information with respect to phone prospecting. He came to our group a couple of weeks ago for an hour or so, and he's going to come back today from 11 to 12. It looks like Tawantis, you're dying to hit the unmute button and share your experiences with Paul last time.
I was just gonna say I absolutely love Paul. I'm coming to the office just to be in there with Paul on tomorrow.
Today.
No, on Friday.
No, Paul's
Friday?
today at 11.
I know, but I'm actually going to meet him myself in person.
Oh, okay.
So I scheduled something outside because you guys, just to share, I mean, if we can get, and I think that if we can get with anyone that's doing that kind of productivity and can kind of be that kind of influence, it's great for us to partner with them and see how they're doing it every day. So I definitely want to. I don't care how much I think I know. I want to know everything he's doing because on his first call, you guys, he used to make 1,000 calls. I think he mentioned on that first call with us, like a day or something of that nature. So that's extraordinary. So if anybody didn't hear him, definitely try to tune in if you can.
Yeah, it'll be in this room. We will record it in case you have another commitment, or in case you're at the business planning session as well, which I also highly recommend. I attended that last year with Jenny Mosier, 10 to 2. And there's a link that was sent out, or not a link, I'm sorry. It is a couple bucks, $10, I think. And the sign up information is on the newsletter. Okay. Jenny, by the way, I think it's been announced officially. She's the director of sales for the Peters Group. I don't know what day she starts, but she is about to become the executive leadership director with the Southeast region. Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is essentially, this is not her official title, but she's essentially the team leader.
Bill, do we have a directory of folks? Is there like somewhere on our thing where we can look up people and kind of know their title and role? Do we have that?
We do have an office roster, although Jenny wouldn't be on that. Do we have a roster for, let me think about that for a second.
It's on the intranet site. Like you can get anybody's information in that little search bar. If you go to intranet and then associates, you can click, you can search.
And also,
yeah, but that might not give the exact title. That may not be exactly what you're looking for, but that's a good start. Yeah.
And also, Melody sent out the training calendar, and a portion of the training calendar has the Market Center leadership.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. The Market Center leadership would be there. Yes.
Back up, training calendar. What?
So there was a training calendar that was sent out, I believe, yesterday for November. You're getting all the office emails, right, Greta?
I don't know, because I don't remember seeing.
Melody sent it out about 5 minutes to 3 yesterday afternoon.
I don't think I saw it either, Bill.
Okay, so wait, who was the other?
Mary.
I did get it. Yeah, it was buried.
I can forward it to you, Mary, if you want.
Okay.
So there's a couple of, thank you, John. Mary, I'll make sure that there should be no reason why you're not there, but I'll double check.
Okay.
Okay, there was an email sent out from Melody yesterday with the monthly calendar for November. So make sure that you peruse that, and anything on the calendar that you want to commit to, get it on your calendar, and don't schedule an appointment during that time, right? When somebody says, I want you to hang out with you at 2 o'clock, you could say, I have a commitment at 2 o'clock, or I'm working with, let's say I have a commitment at 2, which would be available at 3. And literally 99% of the time, they're going to say, yeah, sure, right? We're very fast sometimes to give away our commitments when we find a commitment that might be more interesting. Okay, don't do that. Don't say, well, dinner's at 5, but if I can find somebody to meet with me at 5, then I guess I'll skip dinner. Your family's not going to like you so much if that's the case. Okay. Okay. So in summary, there was an email sent out yesterday with the November calendar. Take a look. There's also pretty much every day there is it's not always sent out at the exact same time, but we have a daily newsletter for the office. Okay, it's got the next couple of days of training. It's got links for special events and registrations. And it also has contact information for all of the vendors and all of the Market Center leadership. Jenny is just, I don't want to call her just an agent, but she is an agent officially out of the Peachtree Corners office as a part of Andy Peters' team. And she has started off as essentially working a bunch of rentals, moved up to their first buyer's agent. This is over 10 years ago, became their lead buyer's agent, then their lead listing agent, then their director of sales, and now the executive leadership director for the entire Southeast region. So there is opportunity for all of you. Okay. But I do want to make sure you're very clear on one thing with Keller Williams, and I've seen this happen over and over and over again. The politics of Keller Williams is production, right? When you have a role and you nail your role, the next role is waiting. If you have a role and you don't particularly nail the role, the next opportunity is not waiting quite yet, right? Make sense? Beautiful. All right, today is about language patterns and language skills. So I want to touch on, we spoke a little bit about the idea of acknowledging and validating last Thursday. Did you guys get an opportunity to either study that a little bit more or review that material or practice that material in this last week?
I reviewed it. I didn't practice it yet.
Okay. So for those that weren't on the call, let me just scan through the list real fast. This is in any kind of conversation that you're having with a friend or a client or family member or whatever. People, as we said yesterday, they want to feel good, or they want to look good and be right. Look good and be right. This is the way you get towards that, okay? You acknowledge what they're saying and you validate what they're saying. So here's an example of acknowledging, okay? What I'm hearing you say is, what you're saying is, in other words, what you're telling me is, so you're saying, what I hear you telling me is, I understand that, okay? Acknowledging allows the listener to know that you heard them. Validating allows the speaker to stabilize their feelings about the situation. So examples of validating are, it's understandable that, it's perfectly normal when, no wonder you feel, you have every right to think, right? So an example, a child says to you, that's not fair. What do you say? You say, I hear you saying that it's not fair, and it makes sense that you would feel that way. However, we only eat 6 candy bars a day, right? Or I hear you saying, oh, thanks. Oh, hang on. 1 and 1. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 9 o'clock. Yes, ma'am. Ooh, Robin's running the show today. She says 9 o'clock. Okay.
You've got 4 minutes.
I've got 4 minutes, right? A seller doesn't like the proposed list price. What I'm hearing you say is that you're frustrated with the potential listing price, and it's understandable with all the mechanical updates you've made to the property. And then you say whatever you need to say. You acknowledge that you heard their frustration or their concern, right? You validate that what they're feeling is reasonable, and then you tell them what you need to tell them, okay? A buyer is resistant to making an offer. In other words, you're saying that this isn't the right house for your family, and you have every right to feel that way. Now get in the car and let's go find the right house, right? I hear you saying that setting an appointment is making you uncomfortable, and it's understandable that you'd feel that way. Would you prefer to meet over Zoom? Okay, let's move on to one more concept. that I want to chat about. Probably don't have enough time to do that. So we talked a little bit about modal operators as well. These are things that it's a little confusing of a concept. You learn a lot about these ideas of modal operators of necessity, of possibility, of probability, right? Should, must, have to, ought, can, able, capable, will, could, may, might, had better. These are basically verbs that modify other verbs, okay? They're basically saying something like, I want to set an appointment. I have to set an appointment. I need to set an appointment. I can set an appointment. I choose to set an appointment. So when you're listening for your client as they're talking, right? I can't meet you, or I won't meet you, or I choose to meet you. You can listen to what is the level of intensity that they're using in their words, okay? Because generally they are going towards pleasure or away from pain. And typically about 90% of the time they're going away from pain, okay? So oftentimes you can ask recovery questions, what they call recovery questions, to get them back to kind of center, okay? Moving them towards possibility, okay? Recovery questions are, an example would be the client says, I can't write the offer. And you might say, is it that you can't or you won't? And then you stop talking, right? Because we all know you can. Like, if this isn't the house you want to write the offer on, fine. But you want to make sure that they know you're listening closely. So you say, is it that you can't or that you won't, right? I can't write the offer. Well, what would happen if you did write the offer, right? Recovery questions are, what would happen if you did? What would happen if you didn't, right? What is the worst thing that can happen? What would the consequences be? What stops you? What would happen if you could, right? I can't decide if I want to, hire that person. Well, what would happen if you could? You're basically just pushing them to go a little deeper in their brain to help you understand where they're at. And then once you know where they're at, you can help them get to where they're trying to go. But a lot of these phrases here are basically, they're stuck, and you might need to just shift their thinking a little bit or encourage them to go a bit deeper so that they can ultimately reveal what's on their mind. So ultimately you can be a helper for them. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's do one more.
No, it's 8:59.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Sorry, I don't want you to get in trouble with Robin.
Yeah. I'm
Hi,
okay with getting in
boys.
trouble with Aubrey, but I don't want to get in trouble with Robin. All right, you guys. I am finalizing our guests for tomorrow from 12 to 1. I will have that news for you very soon. And our launch mastermind will be tomorrow from 1 to 2. We have a lot of one-on-ones today. So please make sure that your numbers are fully updated before our meeting. And today from 11 to 12 will be our session with Paul Tully in this room. Don't miss it. He is just phenomenal. His attitude is just, man, I wish I had, if I was that smart and I had that attitude when I was 25, boy. All right, see you guys soon.
Bill, will that be recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
It will? Okay, because we have Ignite. Ignite's just conflicting with everything all the time.
It's almost done.
I know, thank God. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.